Hello everyone, this is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hey! How are all my Crimsonites today? Let's see, we got brotherly love. Why is it so high up on my waist? Anyway, we got brotherly love. We got cynical optimist. We got C. We got Sandra. We got Panda. We got A-Sun. Kalila. How we doing? Okay, so for the ladies, I got a question for the ladies. Do any of y'all go to the nail shop and get y'all nails done, or do y'all wear like gel nail sets? Gel nail polish. Because I got a question. Hey, Dr. Michelle. Hey, Miss Sherry. Hey, Audrey. Any of y'all wear gel nail sets? Because I got a problem. A problem. Because my daughter bought me a set for Eid. However, the purpose of gel nail polish is not to chip. Thank you, Mrs. GF. The purpose of it is not to chip like regular nail polish or even other nail polish, because I have regular nail polish, I have peel off polish that is permeable, that water goes through, and now I have gel polish that's supposed to not chip. However, my gel polish chip and peel like every day. So I'm back to bare nails. Now, thank goodness they not booty nails. My little nails call themselves growing. They look so pretty. But for the life of me, I can't stop them from peeling or chipping. Like, I dry the nail out, put some acetone on there, buff the nail off with the, a file, an emery board. I sometimes put the base coat, other times I don't put no base coat. One layer, cure, and then top coat, cure. Now it cured just fine. It don't move after that. But I'll be doggone if the next morning they are not peeling up. Yeah, they swear to God it's because of the nail. But if I put acetone or nail dehydrator on it, it's not supposed to chip. Technically speaking, gel nail polish, if you don't remove it, it's supposed to stay at least a week or two without chipping off of your nail. Now, I don't want no nail polish to stay that long. But can you give me a couple of days before you chip? And this is why I stick with nail polish that peels up anyway, like it's designed to peel up, because that nail polish is permeable. And I don't wear fake nails, so this is just on my natural nail. And I'm not sticking my hand under that UV light every day. Boop. Not doing that. Boop. I'd rather do just my other little nail polish, and if it's gonna chip every day anyway, What's the difference? Because I actually spend a lot on my little nail polish, especially the one that peels up and that water can go through. The brand that I like to use is called Tuesdays in Love, but it's in Canada. So it actually takes a minute for them to send your nail polish to you. But that's actually some really pretty nail polish. It's actually good nail polish. But anyway, enough about my nail polish. Let's see. We got Chance. We got Father's Time. We got Mogul Maze. But I really need to put some strengthener on my nails. They healthy, but they like to bend a little bit. So I need to put some type of strengthener, like some oil or something on there. That's why I need to put like strengthening oil on there. Hey, Petway boy. So let's go ahead and get the like ups, because we gonna cook today. What we cooking? We cooking it up in the crock pot. What we cooking? We are cooking. You see the title, The Luxury of Hating Your Men. What am I talking about? We live in a society today where black women have the luxury of hating their men in a way that previous generations, especially going back before Generation X and talking about the boomers, and prior to the boomers, the silent generation and the greatest generation, did not have the luxury of hating or disowning or denying their men. Okay. Hey, George Golden. Nowadays, my generation had that luxury, and all the generations of women below me, the millennials and the zennials and whatever they are, have the luxury of hating men. Now we are going to talk about how that came about. All right. Because what we need to understand is how this thing happened. And I made a video a long time ago. So this is almost a reworking or representing of the concepts that I did in a video a long time ago called How Feminism Destabilized the Black Family. Hey, sheep. And in that video, I had a clip of Aaron Russo. I don't know how many of you all are familiar with him. A clip from one of his documentaries where he was talking about the purpose of feminism, the purpose to which feminism was brought not only into what we recognize as the second wave, but it being brought to black women and packaged the way that it was packaged. And we're going to have to revisit that a little bit. Mogul, it's not only its cousin, it's its daughter. Feminism is its daughter. Because it performs the job in a way that overt racism could not do. Feminism performed the job of destabilizing the black family in a way that overt racism could not do. Okay? Because overt racism, as our ancestors experienced post-slavery, during the Reconstruction period and all of that, was meant to destroy the black men and women, couldn't really do it. And I mean physically destroy. So this is why the face of that changed. Because they needed a more subversive way to actually get rid of the black family unit. Because after slavery, see, even the plantation politics had its effect, but not in the way that they intended, because during Reconstruction, during that period after slavery, black men and women still needed each other to survive. So you were not going to be able to destroy the black family, because you can't get rid of people's innate biology to survive, to self-preserve. So we needed each other. And when I say the plantation politics didn't take, they had removed the black man from being the authority and the head of black women on the plantation. But this is under duress. This is under a manufactured biocultural system. Okay? Because biology was being controlled, which gave rise to the... See, I'm talking about antebellum slavery right now. The biology is controlled. We control eating, sleeping, procreating, protecting, problem solving. We control the biology. In the culture, this is acceptable, that you are inferior and a slave class. So it is acceptable to treat you as such. And the environment supported it because it is the law of the land. Antebellum slavery and all that it entails is the law of the land. Now, the ending of antebellum slavery, of chattel slavery, resulted in the need to rework the bioculturon, because now I'm not in direct charge of your biology. I'm not in direct charge of this anymore. I can't directly affect your eating, your procreating, your problem solving, your provisions, I can't directly involve myself in this, but I'm gonna try to indirectly do it. This is where you got redlining. This is where you got sharecropping. This is where you got, I'm gonna put you over here and I'm gonna put you over here, and I'm going to segregate this right here and segregate this right here. See, that was about separating you from resources, right? To control by proxy how much you can survive. Because if you don't have proper resources, how much can you eat? If you don't have access to proper resources, how can you house yourself? How can you provide for yourself, your wife, and your children adequately? If I restrict you heavily from the resources. But see, that failed as well. Why? Because this is still the same group of people that were the slave laborers. So we knew how to build everything. This is the group of people you use to build your country. So we understood agriculture. So I could eat anywhere I'm at because I can till the land. Right? We understood how to build homes and structures. Who you think was building them? plantation homes? Who you think was building them? You think they just magically got there? Who built Massa's house? Huh? Who made Massa's clothes? Huh? So if we get our men together, they know carpentry. Huh? Who was working the loom? You know how to make fabric. Pick the cotton. You think they didn't put us to work to manufacture the cotton? What's the purpose of slave labor if you was going to make somebody else do the work? You make them do the work. So we were the builders. We had the skill set. Our men had the skill set. Had been working his fingers to the bone all his life. He ain't scared of no hard work. He ain't scared of hard work in the hot sun. He ain't scared of that. He been doing that. He been doing it for you. So he'll do it for himself. He'll do it for his family. I know how to go get donkeys and stuff like that and go and till this land and plant these seeds. And, you know, I understand this crop got to be rotated after a couple of seasons, and you put that crop right there, and you put that crop right there. And then after a couple of harvests and stuff like that, you rotate them again so that the soil is not stripped. We understood that. Okay? So it still couldn't destabilize the family unit. And trying to take me away from resources, it worked to an extent. But you can't take the knowledge out of my head. So how do we get to a point where the black family is destabilized? Well, what destabilizes it? Well, the same way we did it on the plantation. You got to take the men out of the equation. You have to take the men and make them obsolete to that woman. Well, how do you do that? Took a long time for them to figure that out. Fast forward to the 60s. An opportunity presented itself. Oh, this is where we can implement some type of plan to destabilize these family units. What was happening in the 60s? The Vietnam War. Sent all the men off. You know they sent our men off first. If he was big enough to hold a gun, he was going over there. That's why Muhammad Ali was in trouble, because he refused to go. Do you remember that? So our men was taken from us and sent to war. Many of them did not come back. And for many that did, they were not the same men. These were broken men. War had broken these men. They had seen atrocities or committed them. They came back physically maimed. That's what the movie Dead Presidents was about. It wasn't just about them robbing. Why were they robbing? What was they doing? What was the context to that? They had come back from the war. Heroin was a big boom. Why? Because a lot of the war vets were self-medicating. Trying to get them images out their head. Trying to get their mind right. Trying to manage pain, because heroin and morphine are opioids and painkillers. So he come back either physically maimed, or if he was still physically whole, he might not have been mentally and emotionally whole anymore. Okay, I ain't never been to no war, but I imagine it changes you in fundamental ways. Okay, in ways that are not reversible. So some of these men could come back and reintegrate into civilian life, find work, so forth and so on. But many of them could not. Now, while the men were gone, what did the women have to do? You got to provide for your family. So she has to come out of her home to now face elements that she is not accustomed to. There was more housewives than anything. Even though black women worked more because we needed to pull our resources, so we would go, work in Miss Ann's house and clean her bad little kids and, and all that kind of stuff. You pull in a few measly dollars here and there, or you do some menial task, you're a seamstress or something like that we could do. So black women have always kind of worked, but we still was more focused on the home and the children and raising our kids and stuff. We wasn't talking about we don't need no man at that time. But when you send the men off to war, you got women left alone with mouths to feed, her own and the children. So what do you got to do? You got to find some type of way to make sure that you and your kids eat. So we come out of the home in force to work and to get some provision. For those women that could not do it, this is where the entitlement programs come from. Because remember, a lot of these entitlement programs came under the LBJ administration. If I'm not mistaken, this is after the Kennedy assassination. LBJ took office. Okay? At the same time, we had the civil rights movement in full force, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So these entitlement programs come into play for the women that can't do this. She's too undereducated, or she simply cannot find any gainful work. So you get on welfare. It was revamped because remember, the whole concept of welfare came about after the Great Depression. Because folks was cannibalizing and selling human trafficking and all that kind of stuff to eat, live in the Great Depression. Now that was around about 1929. This what we talking about is happening in the 60s. Okay? So these women, the job market has opened up to the women and feminism have come into play. Now at first black women wasn't buying into feminism. We were just trying to eat. We didn't know what them Beckys was talking about. Okay? We were just trying to eat something. It wasn't about ditching our men. It wasn't about that. See, at first it wasn't about that. It wasn't about not needing the black man. Because see, in that era, them women still was under that. They didn't think about not needing their husband. So now when the war is over and whoever survived come back home, they may or may not be able to reintegrate themselves into their families, or into society at large. Some of them have PTSD. He's just not the same man. Okay? So what happens with that is she got to continue to work. She can't stop. Because even though he's physically home, he is not equipped right now to take over duties. Even if he become equipped in the future, right now he can't do that. So I got to keep working and providing for this family. Now, the daughters, which these was the boomer women, the daughters of the boomers was us, the Generation X girls. Our mothers taught us, listen, you probably get married and stuff like that. But here's what I want. I don't want you to lack the skill set to step up to the plate of provision in case something happened to your husband like it happened to your daddy and me. War took him. All right, your daddy didn't run out. War took him. And I needed a skill set to feed y'all, and I didn't really have one, so I did a lot of scraping and scrambling and a lot of stuff I'd take to my grave that I did for this food you eat. So what I need you to do is go to school and stuff like that and get you a skill set to fall back on. Because if something happened to the men again like this, when it's your time to have a husband, I don't want you to struggle like I did because I didn't have no skill set. Now, even that to a certain percentage was altruistic. Now, some of them was doing it because of the influences of feminism. Let's keep that straight. But some of our mothers was doing it because they genuinely didn't want to see their daughters struggle without a concept of working or money or how to manage a household in that way. So they wanted their daughters to have that skill set that they were missing. I had to learn on the fly. All of the things that my husband was doing that he didn't tell me he was doing and I didn't know how to do. This was mobility that they were talking about. They were talking about mobility. I didn't have no concept of what went into mobility. Because mobility happens outside the home. It's right after dwelling. Listen what I'm saying. Mobility happens right after dwelling. It's right outside your door. And I was largely unaware of what goes into what goes on outside of my door like that. That was my husband's world. That's a man's world. This is a man's world. This is a man's world. All right. But it wouldn't mean nothing. James Brown had it. So I had to go out there and be confronted immediately with mobility issues. The security of my household, which was always left up to my husband. The provision, the protection, the problem solving. And now I'm lacking the procreation. But now I got to take on something that I'm not accustomed to because the 4 P's are male nature. Okay? But they need it in order to operate and have mobility. I don't know about that. So, but now I got to on the fly. I got to figure out provisions. Now I got to try to have foresight that I don't really have. All right? I got to try to go out there and procure provisions for all of us. I depended on your daddy for that. Sometimes I didn't know how he came back with it. And I didn't ask him. Sometimes I say, where you get that money? And he give me that look. My grandmama used to call that the damn it to hell look. Don't ask me no questions, woman. And he wouldn't even say that. Just look at you. Because he might have had to do anything for that money. Because a man is going to provide by hook or by crook. You understand what I'm saying? By hook or by crook. And he didn't want to tell you about the hook or the crook. Just know that you got your a thing of grits in there and some oatmeal. You got the kids some to eat. And we paid this month bills. They paid enough. Okay? So don't be asking me about how you got it. Just know that you got it. 'Cause you asking too many questions. Ask me in my business, like Don Michael Corleone told Kay, you got one time to ask me my business, Kay. One time. Ask your question. Okay? So a lot of time the men, you couldn't ask them what they was doing for the money. Just why you want to know? What you gonna do about it? All you need to know is that you have been provided for, you and these kids. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know nothing else. But that was his protection. He was protecting his woman from knowing anything and being involved and being implicated just in case it wasn't the hook, it was the crook. And if it was the hook, he was protecting her, and he was also protecting his image in her eyes. Because I might have had to beg for that money. But I'm not going to tell my woman I begged for some money. Because she'll lose respect, and then I'll lose authority and influence in my home, and I'm not going to do that. So you don't mind that, what I did for this money. Like I said, you're asking too many questions. Is dinner ready? Go on in there and fix something, you know, me mind what I did with this money, me mind. All right, so I depended on your daddy for the provisions. I depended on your daddy for the protection. Now I'm just a woman out here that ain't got no cover. You know, if it's men in the community back then, they would try to cover the women in the community. They would try to do that. They had more of a sense of community at that time. Okay? A brother might walk you to your door at night and not try nothing. He just want to make sure you got in safe. Okay? Problem solving. I relied on your daddy for that because I was met immediately with problems that he must have been juggling the whole time. Now they land in my lap, and I really didn't know what to do about them. I just did the best I could. A lot of times I messed up. A lot of times I made the wrong move with them little couple of dollars I had got. And we went hungry a few days more. So I need you, this is the boomers telling the Generation X girls, I need you to not fall into that, because if something happened to your husband, you need the skill set to be able to step up. And the training work, because I believe that to this day. Because anything happened to your husband, he ain't got to leave you by walking out on you, but your husband gonna leave you one day by door or by box. Okay? If you don't leave first, your husband is going to leave you either by walking out that door or getting in that box. So the training worked very well, because I still believe that to this day, that women need a certain amount of that skill set, so that something happened to him, he gets sick, anything happened to your man, the economy blow up, he lose his job, he lose his money, anything can happen to your man. Not all of it will be his fault or from some decision he made. Something changed in the environment, in the economy, and like C-19. We're going to get to that. So with us, Generation X, we took that lesson and said, okay, well, we get a man, at least I have something to back it up with. Okay? He'll have me as a backup. That's how I internalized it myself. My husband will still be primary. He'll take care of everything. But I'm the backup. If something happened, I got enough sense in my head to figure something out. And I won't just be looking at him like a deer in headlight, for $1. I know a little something about how to go get $1. You got to know a little something about how to get $1 that your husband don't give you, so you can give it to him. Because if I got to step up to the provision plate, then I got to make sure I'm getting enough money and I hand it to him so he can do something with it. Because he might be able to make $1 out of 15 cents. See what I'm saying? Because he still got the 4 P's. He still have provision and protection and problem solving and procreation. He still got that. So if I'm the one that's got to go get the money, I need to have some sense in my head to go do that. And I need to be able to go get them couple of dollars in a way that don't disgrace my husband. So this is why I take the position that I'm supplementary. I'm the support. My money is the support money. Whatever money I get is not the primary money. It's the support money. Because see, I might be out there working and making a good little dollar, but I'm going to save it. Now, I'm gonna buy me something out of Amazon now. So let's not play like that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna buy me something out of Amazon. Now he just gonna have to understand that I got an Amazon addiction and I got Prime. And that Prime ain't just for the movies. I done got Prime now for that 2-day shipping. Now, so if he see a bunch of little boxes with a smiley face on there, I just need him to, turn his head and act like he didn't see Now, I need him to turn a blind eye. I need him to turn a blind eye to the smiley face boxes. Just act like you don't see the packages, baby. Just me mind about them packages. Just like you told me mind about how you got that money. Mind about how it gets spent. What's that? Nothing, honey. You got something else from Amazon, huh? You know, play dumb and stuff like that. You know, you got to play like you don't know what he talking about. You got something else from Amazon. That's your third order this week. But it do be something for the house. Like 8 out of the 10 items is something for the house. I done thought of something, you know, little knickknacks and this and that. No, baby, I needed that. You did not need another set of dishes. What you gonna do with the dishes that's in there? I'm gonna pack them up and put them in there. Them will be my winter dishes. That don't make no sense if you don't knock it off. I needed this little tea kettle and pot set. Don't you like tea? I'll be making you some real good little mint tea, and it's got little rose hips in there and the chamomile. You don't like the chamomile? He be looking at you like, girl, if you don't shut up about that tea I drink once a month. Yeah. You got to buy you some lingerie to balance it and make sure he's satisfied. You got to keep him not satisfied, but sassified. You got to keep him sassified now. All right, baby, but I got something for you. What you get for me? You got to come in the bedroom and see that. For real? Yeah. Come here, Zaddy. Come in here, Zaddy. Like, see? Playing. We gonna see how you play for real. But that's what they told the Generation X girl. Now the Generation X is where it really got messed up, because the point of feminism was to destabilize the family. We got to remember that. We have to remember the point was to destabilize. The Gen X girls took the lesson that we got from our mothers, and we took it several steps further. So now our generation of girls, we told them, you don't need no man. We the one, the Generation X is unfortunately the generation of women that really started that. You don't need no man. Girl, all you gotta do get your education and do this and do that and blah, 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 blah. And you don't need no man. Simultaneously, they was making the black man obsolete as a provider. This is where this is where it fits in with the welfare, and you can't have no man in the house in order to receive welfare. Now do you understand how these things fit together to make black men obsolete? That is how you destabilize a family. You make the man obsolete. You set the biology, the culture, and the environment in such a way where in your environment you can find a replica of the 4 Ps. That's not provided by any particular man, but the collective of men within the environment. So provisions can be gotten from the state. Protection can be gotten from the Romans in the state. Because who do black women call? They call the Romans when they need protection. They say they want it from black men, but really they get it from the state. Problem solving, the state. You run to court, you run to Zaddy anytime you scrape your knee. And he'll solve your problem. And the biggest problem that black women want solved is the black man. He the biggest problem that she needs Zaddy to solve. Now, procreation is the only thing she looked back to the black man for. That's the only one of them P's that the state has not replaced him for, which relegates black men to the state of a bed buck. He is a mandingo now. That's all he is. This is where the transaction comes from between black men and black women. I'm not gonna take you seriously as a man. All you are now is sex to me. I'm the gatekeeper of sex as the woman. So I'm just gonna make this transactional. You give me a couple of dollars and I'll give you the sex you want. The men never wanted that. Now, why did she make it transactional? Because she no longer needs him to provide the other 3 P's. Because if she needed him to provide all 4, she would never have made it transactional. She would have stayed within the original contract between men and women. But when she made a deal with the state, she undercut the black man. And he was squeezed into a corner. Where the only thing he could do, or the only thing that he was worth in her eyes, was that procreation. When she want a baby, she go over to him and play nice with him. Okay? So she go over to him, play nice to him to get that last P out of him. But the environment made sure that she didn't need him for the other 4. This is why you have women still talking about, girl, you don't need no man. Because the environment that we are in still supports that. This is why I say it's the luxury of hating your man. Because even though the environment is set up this way, it can fall like a house of cards at any minute. Should anything come in to disrupt the environment or the culture or the biology, this house of cards falls. C-19 happened in 2020 and it proved my point that I'm making today. C-19 changed the biology. It is an illness that affects people physically. So it changed the biology. It then immediately changed the environment. Before it changed the culture, it changed the environment. How? Because the institutions had to shut down. The economy downturned. That was immediate. The culture followed just behind it. By now, the CDC implemented these measures to try to stem the tide of the infection rate. So don't come out, they quarantine, and when you quarantine, you can't go to work. People was furloughed, except for essential workers. Women do not work in essential industries. Women have never worked in a significant number in essential industries. There are only a very small percentage of women who truck, and even smaller percentage of women that did any type of labor. We doing menial work. We doing office work, filing papers and this and that. You know, just a cut above a secretary. Or we doing some type of other work that during the pandemic was considered non-essential. I happen to be an essential worker. Ha ha ha, thumb my nose to everybody that laughed at me riding Uber. Okay? I was considered essential to get the other essential workers to and from work. Then, of course, essential workers was the medical field. That's the only field that women had numbers in that was still considered essential work. If you was a nurse or a doctor or something like that, if you was in the medical field, you had a shot. If you was in the medical field as a woman, you had a shot at still being an essential worker. Other than that, women was not doing. I don't care if you was making $500,000 a year. If you was making it running around sipping lattes at little business meetings, you wasn't making it no more. Because they don't need you. If you had a low wage job, you definitely didn't qualify as an essential worker. A lot of you was already on welfare, so you just keep doing that. You wasn't working no how. And a lot of women found themselves in situations where the environment, the culture, and the biology had changed in such a way that it could no longer provide provision, protection, or problem solving. And then procreation became an issue with the quarantine. This is why men would study getting these little weird text messages and phone calls from a woman he ain't talked to in a decade. Because we sitting around pining and lonely. Then you got to understand that men do not need women in the same capacity that women need men. It took men a lot longer to come to the point where I kind of miss that woman. Women hit it immediately. Oh, I can't get to the man because a lot of you was tricking and hoeing. Let's keep that. That was part of your hustle. That was part of your money. That transaction that you was doing for procreation with him before the pandemic was cut out by the pandemic. See, you never thought selling that little box would ever go out of style. But I tell you what, a quarantine put a damp on that. But you still was trying to sell your box on OnlyFans. You turned into a virtual prostitute for your digital johns. Okay? So one change to the biology changed everything. And you found out real quick that if something like that happened, it was a luxury to hate that man. But when it come down to the necessity, you need him. That's why I'm saying it's the luxury of hating your men, because you live in a house of cards that allow you to hate him. You live in a house of cards that allow you to emasculate him and talk crazy to him. But all it takes is something like C-19 to bring it all down. Then when Zaddy can't give you the 4 P's, or at least 3 of them, now you somewhere looking stupid in the face, trying to figure out which man you could get some provisions from, because they had done raid. It had got bad. Because it had got bad for me and my sister. Because we was uncovered. I didn't have no man. There wasn't no man that was going to protect my household should somebody have broke into it, had it got that bad. There wasn't no man that was going out there and making sure that we didn't have to go out there to them stores and they done got rowdy and they done raided and pillaged it and they done, ransacked it and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't no man. I had to go out there and take my chances because we got to eat something. There wasn't no man around me that was problem solving and making sure, hey, this is the plan. This is the plan. This is what we got to do. This is how it's going to work. This is what you do. This is what I need you to do. And if something go down, this is how we going to work this. You got it? It had got so bad because remember them riots had started. Because George Floyd, wasn't it? Wasn't that the catalyst? I'm getting my time frames mixed up. They was rioting out here so bad, right in my backyard. I could see the mobs going up and down, breaking in folks' houses, breaking in the stores. It was a mob. It wasn't no man around here that was going to give his life for me. Should somebody had ran up in here, it was just going to be me and my sister. To the end. And we was thinking like that. I had a bug out bag. I got her one. I said, we got to cut out of here. I kept that car full of gas. I ain't had no gun. I bought a big machete and stuff. We got to cut out of here. We got to cut out. I had made a plan as best I could. We gonna go. My father was alive at the time. We go get my dad. And we gonna head out of city limits. We gotta get out of the city. That's what I told my sister. We gonna have to get out of the city. Y'all remember? And I'm doing all of this scared as a goat is to a butcher knife. Because it gets scary for a woman real fast when you ain't got no men. My father was alive, but he was too old. He was too old to deal with that. As a matter of fact, when I talked to him at the time, he said, don't you dare come get me. I'm not going to do nothing but slow you down. But what you do is you come over here and get this 30-06. That's what you do. And we'll hold up in here long as we can, as long as I can hold out. My daddy was a cowboy. He said, long as I hold out. But if I can't hold out, you and your sister gotta go. And I'm not going with you. Because I ain't gonna do nothing but slow you down. Try to make it to your brother. I remember that talk. Ken, I trust you, Ken. You can make it, Ken. Yeah. I trust you. You got a good head on your shoulders. You're making it. You got Allah, Ken. You got Allah. That's what he told me. I miss that old man. Miss that old man. But that's what he told me. Thank you, Red. It gets scary for a woman. I didn't have the luxury of hating no men in my life. I ain't never experienced that. Because I broke the generational curse of relying on Zaddy to give me anything. I ain't been on no aid. I ain't been on no Section 8. I ain't been able to rest on my laurels and get food stamps and this and that. When that man died, when my husband died, I had to get up. Wipe them tears out your face. You gotta get up. luxury of hating no man. And I don't want that. And you shouldn't want it. My first thought wasn't to go to Zaddy and suckle off the teat so I wouldn't have to get up and do nothing. My first thought, because I'm my daddy's daughter, was to get up and find me something to do. Give me some money in my pocket. Because rent is due. 2 weeks after my husband done passed, rent due. And when that job dried up, it still didn't occur to me to go run to Zaddy to get nothing. I said, what can I do to get me some money real fast? This was October 2018. That's what can I do to get me some money real fast? This job drying up. It was a home little job and all that kind. I said, what can I do? I can drive. Well, I ain't got no car. At the time, I ain't had no car. Well, what I'm gonna do? I gotta get some money. I had a little bitty nest egg. I said, wow, how I'm gonna spend it? I gotta manage it. I said, I drive Uber, but I ain't got no car. So I looked at it. I said, well, you know, they let you rent a car, stuff like that. I said, well, I got to look into it because I need me something, make me some money right now. Looked up the Uber. They said, yeah, you can go ahead and rent a car. You know, it costs this much money, blase blam. This is the contract or whatever. I went right over there. They approved me. It only took 24 hours. I went right over there. I caught the bus. I went right over there to where they had the rental Uber cars. I signed my John Hancock on there. I didn't really want to do it, but I had no choice. I signed my John Hancock, and then I was driving that day because I got to make me some money. So I never sat back and waited on Zaddy to make the men in my life obsolete to me. The men in my life have never been obsolete to me. They have never been unimportant to me. They have never been able to be put to the side. Their provision, their foresight was always of tremendous value to me. Their protection was always of tremendous value to me because any one of them, my husband, my little son I raised, and my daddy, would have given their lives over and over and over to save mine. I know this for a fact. I know it for a fact. Can't nobody tell me no different. Can't nobody tell me no different. I know they would have done that. If anything was to happen, they was ready. They was on go. They was on go for it. You can't say nothing to her. You can't talk. My little brother was a goon. We would be going out somewhere and he would hear insults that I never heard. I turn around, his jaw tight, and he's staring at somebody. I'm like, what is happening? What is you mad at? We was just laughing a second ago. Nah, you ain't hear it. You ain't hear it. I didn't hear what, baby? You ain't hear what that said? You ain't hear what that said? No, I heard it. He better not say it again. I bet you that. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Cause he done got loud. Cause he want the other guy to hear it. And he a goon cause he got a 9 on his hip. He's sitting down with a 9 on his hip. 26 years old, 6'6" or 6'7", get mean mugging somebody because somebody done said something about his sister / his mama. I ain't hid. He on go, ready to tear somebody's head off. I'm like, boy, come on. I don't want you fighting and all that kind of stuff. No. They gonna learn today. Always got something slick to say. She ain't even bother nobody. I know you don't bother nobody. Still to this day, I don't know what my husband said to that man. I told y'all that story. That man that was harassing us in the garage, in the elevator and all that kind of stuff. My husband went down there. I don't know what he said to that man. I ain't seen that man no more. I ain't seen that man no more. Not around there. I think I saw him way long time after that. I don't know what he said or did to that man. Cause I asked him, I said, baby. He said, what? Because he was mad at me, right? Because it had been like a week or two and I hadn't told him what was going on because I ain't want him. I ain't want no trouble and stuff like that. But it had done I figured I could handle it, and then it got to where I couldn't handle it. Then I told him, then he almost popped. I know you ain't wait. When this start? 2 weeks ago. I ought to get you first before I go get him. Well, what? You know what? Anything could be going on. Don't you dare wait. Got me out here looking like I can't protect you. Huh? Now you dumb. Now you dumb. You don't knock it off. Now you dumb. You dumb now. Right. Where is he at? I think he over there. Uh-huh. He put them shoes on, put his stomping boots on. he put them Timbs on. Cause he had a pair of black Timbs. He put them Timbs on, a sweatshirt, his jeans. I'll be right back. He was gone about 15 minutes or so. He come back. I said, what happened? What you do? This is the look that I received. Go sit down. Okay. Now. Okay. And if he answered that question, you did. I was told to go sit down now. And if he answered that question, Joe Blow Schmo answered it. I said, okay. And I bet you I ain't asked no more. The look I got, he wasn't playing with me. I ain't asked him no more what he did. You know, get me in trouble. Because I was already in trouble for not telling him in the first place fast enough. So I was pushing my luck. Ladies, try not to push your luck. I know sometimes we can't help it. But I pushed my luck. I was already in trouble. I was already on the verge of a whooping for not telling them in the first place. It wasn't fast enough. And then I had the unmitigated gall to ask him what he did. Oh. I neither had nor wanted the luxury of hating my men. None of them. I loved them too much to hate them. I treasured them too much to hate them. I valued them too much to hate them. The state cannot replace them. Only another man in his masculinity can fill the void. I don't look to the state. I don't look to Zaddy. I don't look to the Romans. You black women have the luxury of hating your men, but not for long. This is a house of cards we living in. I need you to know that. I need you to know that this is a poorly constructed house of cards. Any bad wind will blow it down. And then you will find real fast what your foremothers call themselves protecting you from. And that's facing the harsh realities of this world without the leadership, without the system, order, and structure, without the provision, protection, problem solving, and procreation of a man. It's a cold world. It's cold, and it's scary, and it's lonely. You living in a fantasy where men are only phalluses and wallets, and the other needs are getting met willy-nilly, and you think you don't need no man. We don't need no man. I made a video a while back. Are you sure you don't need a man? I had all kinds of gynocrats in my comment section talking about, I don't need no man. Yes, you do. Because men are more than wallets and phalluses. And if you had ever bothered to value a man in your life, or have one in your life that you didn't run away because you were some type of Tasmanian devil, you actually would understand his value beyond the selfish things that you want out of him. This show has been brought to you by A Game. A natural herbal solution for men's overall health. And guys, if you want to be part of the A Game family, and ladies, if you want the men in your life to be part of the A Game family, it's only one way to do it. Go down in the description box, click the link for A Game at agameherbal.com, and you can get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10 at checkout, and you can have your next box of A Game on its way to you. And with that being said, I am going to wrap this up. I want to thank everyone for coming through. I want to thank everyone for contributing, for the cash apps, for the super chats, hologram, EMC. I know I probably missed a couple. Red, thank you. Trying to go back up. RJ, thank you so much for your super chat as well. And the Bishop. Now, I think Jay Speaks was trying to send me a cash app, but I didn't get it. Make sure that you sent it to the right place. It's $ Crimson Cure. That's $ Crimson Cure. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.